In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to build a home studio for live streaming or creating content. Now, this is gonna be my personal studio tour. It took me some years to make it customized to what I personally need. It's gonna be a little different. Your space may be different, your budget may be different, your priorities may be different. So that's why you don't have to copy exactly what I have in my studio. All you gotta do is just follow few principles. I'm gonna show you some of the stuff that always the same, like your lighting, your audio, your cameras, like your camera angles and stuff like that. Those things usually don't change. You may use a different camera model, you may use a different light, but the way you're going to position your camera, position your light, is always going to be the same. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to give you some tips if you starting out, or if you already have a studio and you want to improve it, make sure it looks professional. Basically, this is the studio that I use here to record what you're watching right now, the content that I create every week here on YouTube, but also I use it to go live when I go live to YouTube, Facebook, or any other platform. I use the same studio. So let's not take much time. Let's actually get into it. What is going on, guys? My name is Sam. You're watching Live Production Tips and Tools, helping you master live streaming. So what I'm gonna do, the first thing I'm gonna do, obviously, I'm gonna have this video divided into sections. The first section is gonna be my audio. Again, as I said, this is gonna be different depending on use case scenarios. I may use a microphone that I think it fits my needs. You may need a different microphone depending on your situation and your budget. Some of the things that I'm gonna show you may be overpriced for your situations. When I started out, I didn't start with everything that I'm gonna show you. So I want you guys to get the tips and the principles and see the concept, how actually you build a home studio for live streaming and content creation. So for when it comes to audio, obviously the first thing that I have is actually this microphone. Now, when I started, I was using a USB microphone, but now I'm using this microphone, which is the Shure SM7B. I've got this little stand on it. This is how I like it. Some people like to have this boom arm kind of showing the frame. Personally, I like to keep it minimal, and that's how I love it. So this is what I use, the Shure SM7B. This is about $400 microphone, so it's not cheap for the type of content that I create, because I create every week. It's a great microphone if you can afford it, around $400. If you can afford it, I recommend it 100%. It's just gonna give you a good sound, stable, not too wow. It's not like super wow, but it's not bad. It's just gonna give you the right standard. And once you have it, you really don't have to worry about audio anymore. You just focus on creating content. So this is my Shure SM7B. It's a super popular microphone and I love it. And of course, it's connected to the Rodecaster Duo, which is this interface that you're seeing. And it's got two microphone inputs and a lot of outputs. So it can actually output to the computer. Actually, it got two USB outputs. One can output to a computer and the other one can actually output to another computer or into the same computer. If you want to send audio to different applications, let's say you want to send one audio feed to OBS and another one maybe to something like Zoom. And another thing that I love about this interface is the fact that it actually does everything. So it's not cheap. It's probably, I think it's around 300 and something. I'm going to put on the screen the price. But the reason why I invested in this interface, I'm going to show you what I was using before, is because I wanted to process my audio before it actually gets into the software. So now how I record my videos right now, I don't want to edit my audio. So basically this interface allows me to add things like EQs, allows me to compress my voice, help me, to not clip. So it's gonna compress and make sure it's loud enough, but also it's not clipping. And overall, he's really got, really good sound. So Rode did a very, very good job when it comes to creating this interface. It's got some pads here that you can actually use. You can assign some music or effects to them. So right now I can hit this effect. It has like my intro music if I want to play it on the stream. So I can do that in real time. I've got some clapping effects already pre-built into the actual interface, which is great. This is what it looks like, guys. And this is what I use in combination with my Shure SM7B. Now, if I was doing a podcast, this would be also useful because it can actually record on SD card. On the back here, you can insert an SD card and be able to record if I was doing podcasting and stuff like that, so I can have one guest. If you want to have multiple guests for podcasting and stuff like that, obviously I would need to get the bigger brother, which is the Rodecaster Pro. But the Rodecaster Duo does the job, and that's what I'm using right now, and I love it. What I was using before we actually go to other stuff, I just want to show you little quick. Before I actually started, I was actually using this interface right here, which is the Vocaster One. Now, the good thing about the Vocaster One, because the Shure SM7B requires a lot of gain, the Vocaster One is a cheaper option that will allow you to actually give enough gain to the Shure SM7B. And that's what I was using it, and it worked well, and it's actually well priced. However, the only issues that I was having with it, sometimes I would just scream because my voice, when I'm recording content, sometimes I'll just scream or talk too loud, and I will clip without knowing. And I didn't like that, because once it clips, it's done. I can't go back. I can't change it. So I didn't like that. There was no way to. It has some basic EQs and compression, but the compression is not good enough to kind of contain my voice and make sure it stays consistent. That's pretty much it for audio. But again, when I started way back, I was actually using a USB microphone that is actually here. The Tonor, the TC40 is one of my microphones that I used to use before. And now it's retired. I keep in the shelf over there. But yeah, this, if you're starting out, I will actually recommend it. Tonor TC40. It's just a USB microphone. You connect it directly into the computer and you're actually good to go. That's what I was using. But again, you're gonna need some editing and stuff like that. Probably not something that I would recommend for long term, right? Especially if you're creating a lot of content like me. So next up, for audio, I believe that's it. Now we're gonna go to lighting. When it comes to lighting, this is basically what I use. That's my main key light. Okay, now my main key light is the Godox SL60W. Now this is a budget kind of friendly combo, but also I have to mention because it comes with this softbox, and the softbox really allows to give this nice feel, even looking look on your face because of the lighting, and it gives me really what I need in terms of, like, you know, it's not gonna be super harsh, and it's gonna come with this little remote here. So the remote allows me to really just control it. So as you can see, I can, you know, increase and decrease the intensity and everything. Right now I'm running it at 22%. I can turn it off just like that, turn it on just like that. I like that because when I'm live streaming or before I go live, I can just turn it off if I don't need it. And I can turn it on whenever I need to actually turn it on, or I can increase or decrease the intensity, which is awesome. But this is what it looks like. I just want to show you a little quick. As you can see, this is the actual light, Godox SL60W, and it's gonna come with this soft box. Again, if you have enough space, as you can see, the soft box is gonna take a lot of space in your setup. So I would say if you don't have enough space, there's some other options that will give you a soft box that's not super thick like this one, but mine, because I have enough space, it actually works well. And actually on the top of lighting my face, it also help lighting this kind of background for when I'm doing top-down shots, which is gonna be something that I'm gonna be showing you guys. Usually I use this camera right here for the top-down shot. All right, so another thing that I want to show you guys before we actually show you my main studio, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn on my other room lights. Just want to show you my background. Actually, maybe I don't even need it. So I'm just gonna show you my background for the lights that I'm actually using. As you can see, I have this light. I usually use this light. This is just a cheap lamp that I use to kind of separate me from the background and actually creates a nice effect. And also I have these RGB lights. This one is from YC Onion, and I have another one from Ivis G2 Pocket RGB light, and I have another little light here from YC Onion. So basically these lights are going to help me kind of, you know, give me this color on my background, which is like a common thing that other YouTubers do. It just creates this RGB vibe in the room. What I like about the three lights, if you are into getting RGB lights, first of all, they're portable and they're RGB, but they can also, like, you know, give you white color if you want that. but also they're always plugged in. So if you can see here, this light is actually plugged in and all of them are actually plugged in. Okay, so this is super helpful because when I turn them on, when I come to record, I can keep them on all the time. So I don't have to worry about, you know, the battery. They have built-in batteries, but I don't have to worry about the battery kind of dying on me, which is awesome. All right. So they stay on for as long as I want. They may overheat a little bit. They kind of heat up a little bit. They never shut down from overheating or anything. So I can run them for like 10 hours, 12 hours, or you know, whatever time that I need for recording or going live. So again, I'm not going to do like a 24-hour live stream. I'm going to get tired. So that's that. Moving on, we have this screen right here. Basically, this is just my background kind of thing. So I don't use it. As you can see, I have two keyboards here. Okay, it's kind of part of my decoration or lighting. And I have a mini PC behind it. So the mini PC is just a normal screen. It's a cheap mini PC. And all it does, I just turn it on and I have screensaver on it. And I have this image that kind of matches the rest of my studio to give me that vibe of, you know, like orange, pink, purple, blue-ish. And that just creates, like, you know, while you guys watch my talking head video, it just creates that look. Okay, so that's pretty much for my lighting. And of course, in the back here, just gonna go ahead and actually turn on my room light. As you can see here, I've got, you know, a little bit of, you know, I got this shelf here. This is where, because my space is not that huge, so I use this shelf to store some of my stuff. So as you can see, I have these bins. This one is still empty, but you know, because I want to keep my studio organized, I have a lot of stuff. Just want to make sure they're not laying around. So as you can see, I have stuff in there. So I use this to kind of organize my stuff, kind of store my stuff. I've got a few cameras, few microphones here, but also I use it as a decoration in my background to kind of show my personality. So this is an interface, some of the stuff that I reviewed, some of the stuff that I have used. This is an old camera that I used to use when I started shooting weddings back in the day. It's like some sort of sentimental value to me. So I just like to show it in my background. I've got some fake Shure SM7B that I got from China. Some of the stuff that I just review and I keep them here in the background just to kind of show, like, this is a camera that I'm actually getting ready to review, the Nearstream 2K whatever. So these are the stuff that I want them to show in my background, show my personality. All right. Also, like, I got this little shelf. That's where I put some of the stuff that I received to review, or some of the stuff that I have reviewed that I still have to keep in the studio here. As you can see, I've got some boxes for the Mevo Core that I've been reviewing. I've got some mono microphones. I've got some pocket lights. I've got some lenses. So this is just for storage, but at the same time I want it to look good. So whenever I have something that's kind of showing in the frame, let's say if I'm using a camera that's kind of showing my background, I want that to be kind of, you know, organized and looking good. So moving on, we have the cameras now. I have two main cameras. My main camera, the first one is my Panasonic GH5, which is gonna be behind a teleprompter. So I'm gonna show you a little quick. It's actually on a tripod. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. It's just a Panasonic GH5. I've got the Sigma lens, 16mm lens f1.4 on it. Okay, and it's running through a teleprompter. This is what it looks like. And basically the teleprompter is for me to be able to see myself when I'm live streaming. And I've got a tripod here, and this is where, of course, you can see the cables are not well organized, which is, it is what it is. So my second camera, this is my second camera, which is Panasonic GX85. This is basically to record my top-down shots. As you can see, it's a small camera. Again, this is a micro four third camera. I've got a little lens on it, so usually I use a 25mm lens on it. It's kind of tight, but you know, most of the products that I review are actually very small, so it doesn't bother me. And I've got this little desk mat that I use. It's kind of yellow orange color, and I kind of like it. So that's what I use to do any top-down shots for reviewing stuff, which is awesome. So basically those main two cameras, and you know, sometimes I will use cameras like the Osbat Tiny 2, which is a camera that's actually tracking me right now. So sometimes I can add extra cameras. Sometimes I'll have some cameras in the back to show like the behind the scenes before I go live. But this is not something that I do most of the time for basically my content. Usually I'll just use my main camera with my teleprompter. As you can see, this is what it looks like. I can see myself. I can also like screen recording. So some of the stuff, most of the stuff that I do is actually tutorials. For running my cameras, I use the A10 Mini Pro switcher. And as you can see, I have camera 1 and camera 2 coming in. I also have my computer screen coming in as well. So sometimes if I'm doing some Zoom calls and stuff like that, I can switch to camera 3 that shows my computer screen. I don't know why today is not showing, but I do that sometimes, okay? But other than that, I've got a Stream Deck. The Stream Deck is mainly for controlling my shows. So when I'm running my shows or when I'm recording videos, I use OBS and Streamlabs. So most of the time for recording videos, I use Streamlabs. As you can see, it's running already. The reason why I use Streamlabs is because, not because I hate OBS, it's actually I prefer OBS over Streamlabs, but it's because I'm actually doing tutorials about OBS. So I can't record OBS tutorials using OBS. It's always easier to use Streamlabs to record OBS tutorials with screen recording, of course. So my A10 Mini Pro is basically to be able to switch cameras, and I never use it to live stream or do anything like that. It's just for like, you know, have multiple angles coming in and going out. That's it. And the next thing that I wanted to show you, obviously, is gonna be my desk. And as you can see, I've got just a normal chair here. Again, you can use any chair that you want, okay? My desk is a gaming desk, actually. It's really wide, as you can see. So it contains 3 monitors, okay? So the first 2 monitors, and I've got the vertical horizontal monitors. That's the middle one is 24-inch. They're all made by Scepter. And actually, I'm gonna do a review of one of the monitors because I love Scepter monitors. First, they're cheap. They're not, I mean, not cheap, like they're not expensive. They're affordable. Second, they are really, really high quality, super sleek and thin and good design. I've been using them for over, I believe, almost 2 years now, and I really, really love them. So we got 24-inch, we got 27-inch, the big one, and then the vertical one is actually 22-inch, I believe, not 21, 22-inch. And the reason why I have them mounted like this, I have them all mounted close to my desk, is because I want to be able to have my teleprompter on the top of the monitor. So when I'm doing tutorials, I want to be facing directly the viewer. So when I'm recording my screen, I want to be able to do things on my main screen here, and at the same time be able to face the person who's watching. So that's the reason why I have the monitor super, super low, so I can have the camera kind of on the eye level, kind of facing me. It works pretty well. So I kind of love that setup. And on the top of that, because I need to save space, so I don't use my keyboard on here. So I use my keyboard. I have this little kind of keyboard tray that I use. I put my keyboard and my mouse here, just like when I'm doing like product reviews. It gives me space to be able to have everything on that orange mat. But other than that, I run a custom built PC, so I'm not using a Mac or anything. So this is my PC, and I've got some mono headphones that I use to be able to monitor everything through the Rodecaster Duo, which I actually love. When I'm live streaming, sometimes I just want to hide. I've got another extra storage space here. So when I'm live streaming, I can reach out to some of the things that I have in here. As you can see, I have some other in-ear monitors if I want to use those, but have all the little small little things, that accessories that I need for live streaming. Sometimes I just have them stored in here. So again, this is super, super helpful. I got this little shelf from IKEA, and I really, really like it. So overall, this is what my studio really looks like. You can see the lighting. You can see all the 3 monitors. Now, why do I have a vertical monitor or a portrait kind of orientation monitor? Because actually it helps when I'm, first of all, you don't want to have it too wide because your eyes not going to be able to focus to all the 3 monitors. So it helps kind of putting everything in the center, which is easier for when I'm creating content. But the vertical monitor actually helps me when I'm watching vertical content or when I'm having some notes. It kind of feels closer to me, which is awesome. It's kind of also stylish, which is cool. Yeah, but anytime I'm watching like shorts or anything that's vertical, it's actually really good to watch from that monitor. Or if you're working on a website and you want to have an idea of what a mobile experience will look like, because phones are always like kind of vertical, having a monitor like that is super helpful. Yeah, other than that, another cool thing that I actually like to use basically is this little switch. Okay, so basically this little switch kind of is a switch that kills all the electricity for my equipment. So if I turn off, like I hit the button, when I turn off the computer, it's gonna switch off the computer. I also have the light set to this button, and it kind of helps me to kind of switch off anytime that I want, and it's super helpful. Now, another thing before we end the video, I already showed you this shelf. This is where I used to store all my stuff. And for this desk, I'm probably gonna use it for Zoom calls and other stuff. But for now, it's only there for decoration. I've got this huge box here for storage as well. And on the back here, it's really everything's like, I got this little monitor here. This little monitor is just for the teleprompter that helps me just to be able to project the image on the teleprompter. And I've got my stand, my tripod, a stand for the light. I've got a switch here. Again, I have to organize some of the stuff here, so it's probably not good to show you guys, but I'm showing you what I have behind the scenes. But overall, guys, at the end of the day, this is what the studio, the finished kind of look is gonna be like. Again, we have this angle as well. If I want to show like the top down, you can actually build everything and make sure, you know, with the software, because now I use Streamlabs and OBS sometimes, but you can build everything with overlays and make everything look good. Again, I use this to record content and live stream as well. So if you have questions about this setup, guys, let me know. Okay, again, you don't have to use what I use personally. The main thing is really to have your computer, have your software, your lighting, your microphone, and your cameras. Everything else, guys, just accessories. Okay, you don't have to have everything that I just showed you here. But the key, one of the key tips that I will actually give you if you're starting out is make sure when you build the studio, make sure you build something that will allow you to come, just sit, hit 2 or 3 buttons. So when I come in here, I hit the switch to turn on all the electricity to be able to run into my equipment. And once I have everything receiving electricity, all I gotta do, I turn on my computer, turn on my light is already on, turn on all the lights in the back, and then turn on the computer, the mini PC for the background. And that's pretty much it. And I'm ready to record. Just go ahead, turn on Streamlabs, start recording. I don't use my camera to record, because I used to do that. When you use your camera to record, you have to go ahead and insert the memory card, take it out, record, take it out, put into the computer. It's an extra process. So now I record everything directly into Streamlabs, and it just saves me time. That's one tip that I'll actually leave you guys. Make sure it's easy for you to actually start recording, so you don't have to think about it. You can focus on preparing your content if you're recording or you're going live. Also, make sure you don't waste time trying to insert and removing memory cards and transferring your files from the memory card to your computer. It takes too much time, okay? So when you're starting out, just focus on having a studio kind of ready to go. Anytime you want to record something, you got a thought, go ahead, just hit record and you're ready to go, like what I just did. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, let me know down below. If you want to know how I actually take everything, all my camera feeds and everything, send to OBS and build all my scenes from countdown timer to main camera, adding a chat, adding graphics and stuff like that, kind of build a full show for either live streaming or going live using OBS. I've got a video showing you step by step how to combine everything that I just showed you guys and be able to go live on YouTube or Facebook using OBS. So that video is gonna be linked right here. Make sure you check it out. But if you are interested in some of the gear that I talked about in the video, I'm gonna leave a link down below for everything, and I'll see you there, guys. Take care.